So here we are in our game where we have the robot flying. Every time I click on the space bar, I'm getting a little boost and I can even go up. The thing is that when I'm passing in the wall, I don't die. I don't get fried. So let's change that, shall we? Find in your code, where is it that I can get fried? Basically, I can repeat on falling until something happens. What is that something and where is it in the code? So pause this video, discuss with your partners, and let's see if you can find it. All right, you unpause the video. So here is where we have in the code, repeat until the touching edge, you need to fall down. And you need to fall down by V speed. Well, not only when I touch the edge, but also, I'm going to change this, also when I'm touching the barrier. So here I'm grabbing a new operator. The way I created it is that I use the OR operator. The OR operator basically returns true if one of those two is true. So I have two conditions over here. One is, do I touch the edge, or do I touch the wall? And so if any of them is true, then the whole thing is true. So we can play around with it a little bit. Right now I'm touching the edge. I'm not touching the walls, but I'm touching the edge. So this one is true. Now, if I don't touch anything, then it's false. Okay, the whole thing is false. If I'm touching the walls, but not the edge, then the OR of both is true. So that's what I want to use here instead. And now, basically, I can play my game and I'm going to get fried even if I touch the walls. You see, it's resetting. Ignore this score for now. This is something that I wanted to show you for afterwards. I'm going to just hide it for now. Okay. All right, to make this game a little bit more beautiful, what we can do is that we can add on the stage, we can add a background. So there's a blue background if you want to do it. To do it, you just like click on this, choose a color and paint the whole thing, and boom, you have a backdrop. You might not want to make it too deep, but here I have this blue, which is beautiful. So I'm going to use that. So now it looks a little bit better. So now you can just think about what you want to do to improve your game. One of the things that we could easily do is to add a score so that, two people can play it and we can compare our scores. So for that, you create obviously a variable called score. When do we set up the score to 0? Well, at the beginning of the game, which is basically over here when we have in the robot sprite, I can call that robot. That would be much better as a name than just sprite. I'm going to set my score to 0. And when do I lose? I lose when I have touched either the edge of the wall, and that's maybe the good time for me to reset my score to 0 again. So set the score to 0. Now I can decide to give more points to the score every time we pass in a second, but another way to do it is I can look at my walls, and as the walls are passing by, if they're reaching this point, I'm going to give one more point. So forever, we going the barriers, the sprite barriers or walls are going to the right and then gradually going to the left using this loop. If I basically finished this loop, then I can get one more point. So it gives me some kind of indication of how many barriers have passed, kind of. So let's look at the score now. We're going to start the game. My score is reset. And I get one barrier to the left. Oops, I got fried. So my score is going back to 0, but the barrier passed. So I got 1, now I got 2, Oh, I'm at 4. Ah, I'm going back down, going back down again. All right, let's try to beat 4 now. Ah, I am not very good at this game, my own game. So if it's too difficult, maybe the barriers are going too fast. And you might want to adjust that. Oh, you just have to play more to get better at it. I'm at 5 now. Excellent. Okay, what other things can we do to improve this game? Well, we can make the walls a little bit more difficult to pass. And as the score gets higher, we could change the costume of the walls, where the second costume is basically a little bit more closer. So it's narrower for the robots to go. So that's something easy that you can do. But then the next video that I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you how to, you know, add some fuel. So basically, every time you're using the boost, you're going to basically use some fuel and you're going to deplete your fuel. And for that, you need to make sure that you can get recharged by grabbing some canister of fuel that are going to be floating around.